You've been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death.
So Destiny is doubling down on his psychotic takes to do with Charlie Kirk's death. From Destiny's perspective, it's not only okay to be indifferent about Charlie Kirk's assassination, it's also good to mock the death and also encourage more violence towards conservatives.
When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday ending every conservative debate call out I'd do in 2026 with "Don't dodge, bro. That's not what Charlie would have wanted."
I enjoy edgy humor as much as the next guy, but there's a time and a place. The time probably isn't just after someone was brutally assassinated in front of their family, and the place probably isn't your platform with hundreds of thousands of followers.
Do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder...
To murder thousands of Americans. I can speak in this accent as well.
Yeah. Completely irrelevant, but I love that Alex Jones clip.
Do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes. I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term.
It sounds like a perverse, veiled threat coming from the left. We live in a democracy. You conservatives can vote for whoever you want. But if you pick the wrong guy, we're justified in killing your fellow conservatives. And don't get me wrong, there is something to what he's saying. Trump is bombastic, uncouth, and we wanted him in the White House anyway. As Michael Moore described Trump, he is the human Molotov cocktail that they've been waiting for. Donald Trump was a middle finger response to the left-wing agendas of immigration, transgender ideology, DEI wokeness. We've tried the genteel, tepid politician. Hey, what's a woman? It could be defined as what someone thinks about when they're in the shower. So we wanted someone who's just going to be honest and speak for the majority of the population.
What is a woman?
Because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. A woman is a person who's much smarter than a man, I've always found. And a woman's a person that in many cases has been treated very badly, because I think that what happens with this crazy issue of men being able to play in women's sports is just ridiculous and very unfair to women.
And sorry to make this about Europe, but that's where I'm from and I know the most about. But look at these figures on immigration. The vast majority of people are saying that it's too high in Europe and nobody's fucking listening. And the same thing happened in the United States under Biden. When these milquetoast, loser politicians refuse to acknowledge these issues, that's when bombastic, right-wing figures get elected across Europe and the United States. Which is exactly what's happening. And it's not the fault of the voters. It's the fault of the smug, left-wing, elitist agenda that they think they know better than the average person. The same thing with McGregor. I would have voted for him as president, not because I think he's polite or refined, I think he's dangerous and he's crazy, but I want to roll the dice instead of the status quo.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
white
dude.
Described,
he wasn't
Destiny.
Trans. He didn't have a trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear...
Ah yes, a typical conservative with a transgender girlfriend who likes furry porn and hates Charlie Kirk for his hateful comments.
If it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the President of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
Look at this post by Destiny about the Israel-Hamas conflict. Do you condemn the IDF when they kill innocent civilians? Yeah, absolutely and unequivocally. Do you condemn Hamas? Well, actually, it's complicated, which is exactly what he's doing when it comes to Kirk. Can you condemn the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Well, actually, I can't because, remember Trump did that mean tweet thing?
now.
Why do you
is
think?
your
No, let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Let me
Why
ask
is
a
that?
question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the opposing political party.
Destiny.
Really stupid logic from Destiny. I guess this works on a hierarchy. Since Destiny has more influence and power than me, I'm allowed to advocate violence like Destiny did.
You have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience. And because of the fact that you have a huge audience,
yes, it doesn't matter in terms of what you do and say. You're responsible for your morals.
You have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. I actually care about the country and want to bring people together. You do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny. You're embarrassing.
You should tell Donald.
Anna is the best when she's on your side. She's like a mother disappointed in her child.
Destiny, I have a question for you. Why do you think in your campaign for everyone to dial down the temperature, why do you think that mocking the grieving widow of Charlie Kirk when she posts an image of her at the coffin side, why do you think that constitutes turning down the temperature?
You can't turn down the temperature on your own. The president of the United States
inflame
is not
the temperature.
able.
You're mocking his widow. You're mocking his widow.
Because she's being used as a political weapon right now
Wow.
for conservatives to continue their fight. What do you mean? Wow, she's literally doing.
Her husband just got murdered
on email. Yeah, she's using it to drive up recruitment for.
And
a
you
political
can't even
movement.
condemn.
Ah, yes. Recent widow is recruiting people for her movement by forgiving the guy who killed her husband and saying the answer to hate is not hate. The answer is love. If your only concern is recruiting people to your side, do you really think this is a good strategy? Oh, he's mocking a widow and he won't condemn violence. And he laughs at an innocent bystander who was shot at a Trump rally while trying to protect his family. Yeah, he seems like a reasonable guy. I wonder what his views on climate change are. No, the average person thinks you're unhinged, and that's why the left is bleeding political figures. Like you mentioned, Anna Kasparian, Tulsi Gabbard, Glenn Greenwald, Jimmy Dore, Matt Taibbi, all these people who are leaving the left or getting kicked out.
Yeah, what's incredible is you don't have the basic humanity to condemn it. You'd rather taunt his widow. I find that sickening. Jack Posobiec.
I find it sickening that when people are getting killed in the country, the president of the United States on Fox and Friends, when they're begging him, what do you say to your followers that want revenge? He says, I don't know, all the elections are rigged.
And meanwhile, back in reality, when asked nearly that exact same question,
how do you want to see your supporters respond to this? Charlie Kirk, big advocate of nonviolence and free speech on campus. How do you want your supporters to respond, sir?
I think that way. He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond.
every morning I wake up and I make decisions about how I choose to react or respond to things. I don't wake up in the morning, check what Donald Trump has to say, and then base my own personal behavior on his behavior. I agree with you in that it would be very helpful to have the leader of this country want to turn the temperature down. And he hasn't done that. I agree with you on that. But that doesn't change the way I choose to respond to what's going on. The idea of mocking a woman who is now a widow with 2 young children who witnessed her husband get shot in the neck and bleed out to death.
Damn, she hit the nail on the head. That is perfect, and you pretty much can't disagree with what Anna said.
And at the same time, you
it's such a simple thing. If you're going to
hateful.
weaponize somebody's grief against the other party, well, then of course people have a right to fight back against it. I think that she has every right to grieve in whatever way she wants, but when that grief is going to be weaponized to do recruitment, political recruitment, and further radicalization of the other side, then of course you not only have the ability to mock it, I think you have the obligation to mock it. It's insane.
As expected, Destiny is pivoting and giving a meek response because he's got nothing. He's trying to pivot to, oh no, I'm making fun of the people who were using her speech to recruit for Turning Point. I wasn't making fun of her, even though you commented on her post. And he's backtracking because previously he specifically said she was using it to recruit.
Oh, she's literally doing
her husband just got murdered
on email. Yeah, she's using it to drive up recruitment for
and
a
you
political
can't even
movement.
condemn.
I think he's slowly realizing that it is kind of insane to make fun of a recent widow and is trying to distance himself from it.
Let me understand your argument. So since others are using her grief to politically recruit, you think that it's okay to mock her specifically?
Since others
How
are
does that make
using
any
her grief,
sense?
she's the one who gave a 17-minute speech on TV where she talked about good versus evil. She's the one showing up in
Destiny,
TP
let me
USA
explain.
ads.
She should have let him rattle on because he's got absolutely nothing. He's completely enervated. She was the one talking about good or evil. Yeah, I presume the evil is referring to the crazy person who assassinated her husband, you fucking retard.
To
Let
1
me
or 2
explain
days
something
after.
to you. If someone assassinated my husband, I would not be able to have the level of composure she had during that speech. I would be out for blood. I understand why she's angry and why she said the things that she said.
And then she graciously went on in front of a huge audience to forgive the man who assassinated her husband. Yeah, she deserved to be made fun of, Destiny. Anyway, the rest of the Piers Morgan segment gets a bit repetitious. Destiny continues to get dunked on and looks like an idiot and a psychopath simultaneously. Let's go over some of Destiny's history to show that he has no morals and he just wants a carte blanche to say whatever he wants without consequence and blame it all on Trump.
Not exactly like
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature.
The great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
No.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. I've moved full on to like the political violence level or the real violence level when it comes to conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they are demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people would use. And then I just hate them because they tend to destroy the outcomes related to this country, which is what I'm concerned with. Yeah, absolutely.
I hope there's a civil war, dude. I want to see fucking Trump supporters getting fucking shot in this country because you guys are fucking crazy.
So, he was advocating for violence all the way back in 2018. Trump had been president for what? A year and a half? Oh, he can't blame this one on January 6th.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am. 100%. Conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the fuck, okay? Because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms.
It's funny that Destiny is inciting violence and calling for conservatives to be deplatformed when he is now deplatformed for inciting violence. And he was crying on his stream like he can't let the bullies win for deplatforming him.
What about the kid you threatened to kill on League? Okay, I'll be honest. That's something that personally I'm ashamed about. There's not a lot that I can say that about, but there are some things in my life that I've done that I'm genuinely ashamed of. And that kid, that Justin Pro or whatever kid that I made those death threats to, I'm personally ashamed that I didn't follow up and actually find where that kid lives and fucking murder him. But unfortunately, I have a kid of my own. I can't afford to go to jail and do time, so I couldn't follow it as much as I would have liked to. I regret making a threat that I couldn't follow up on. If in another universe where I don't have a kid, maybe, I put all of my finances and shit and we go full Batman and I find him and I fucking kill him. But unfortunately, I can't do that now, so...
Well, this isn't too bad. It's not political violence. This is Destiny, a 20-year-old man threatening to kill some kid. This kid was trolling Destiny in League of Legends. So anyone who trolls Destiny and anyone who attends a Trump rally doesn't deserve to live. And Destiny says to himself, oh god, this was like 10 years ago. How do I blame this on Trump? He also is alleged to have said that Hassan Piker should be killed. Hassan being a famous Trump supporter. In my quote-unquote research, I dug up a load of weird past stuff about Destiny as well. There's plenty of him saying the N-word.
Come on, nigga.
He made racist remarks to a Korean guy that he was playing against. I obviously won't be repeating what he said, but you can see it on the screen. His countless comments of him defending his use of the N-word is hilarious, especially if you read it in his nerdy, shrill voice. Another incident redolent of the recent Pixie drama where Destiny leaked nudes to his friends and then they got out to the wider world. Destiny was sending nudes of this girl called Blue T to his friends and discussing how ugly she apparently was. Long story short, she finds out about it and decides to take revenge. Somehow, she managed to get into his email, change his Twitter and Skype passwords, log in and post Destiny's dick pic to his own Twitter. Now, because of my intrepid journalism, I had to find this dick pic and see it for myself.